We're back at noon with UW Health Clinical Dietitian Michelle Swader, and we're talking about emotional eating. And I think this is going to resonate for a lot of people, so break it down for us.
Yeah, and the real strict definition could be anytime you're eating when you're not hungry. So a lot of people call it non-hunger eating. And this can be really tricky because the slightest thing can kind of take us off our nutritional path. And when you are having a big celebration, a big time of stress, a big time of sadness, that's pretty common to have a little episode of emotional eating. But that can really develop into a coping skill that some people end up starting to use on a daily basis. It's just so easy. And you get some feedback from that. So when you go and you turn to food emotionally, you get a little bit of escape. You get a little bit of a sugar boost or an energy burst, or you get maybe a little bit of happy hormones from the tasty food you're eating. So it really just kind of perpetuates it, and it becomes an easy go-to for every time you might be feeling emotional.
I know for me, it comes from boredom. Sometimes it's like I just find myself opening the fridge or going into the snacks, but usually it's that quick satisfaction, but then I always regret later on.
Yeah. And so we want people to really just kind of think about when they do go into the kitchen and open up those cupboards to really kind of ask themselves some gentle questions. Why am I going in here? Is this a time I normally have a snack? Am I even hungry? A really good question to ask is, what am I expecting this food to do for me? And if it's make me feel better, distract me, if it's not, make me less hungry, then it's a good kind of indication that you are using food for a coping skill and not really for hunger.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it goes back to what's going on up here too, and we all have our own battles going on.
Yeah, and so initially, historically, ideally, you'd like to try to treat those emotions with other kinds of coping skills. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's laughter, maybe you talk to a friend, maybe you pet your dog, and you try to kind of substitute some of those, which can be hard because, again, emotional eating is everywhere. It's really easy to do. You get that positive feedback. But in essence, it's really not solving the emotion that you turn to it, for that reason. So trying to find some other, what we call non-food coping skills would be ideal as you start to try to reduce the times that you're non-hunger eating.
All right, great advice. Michelle, thank you as always.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.